We are going to be making collage landscapes. To start our collage landscapes, first we need to know what a collage is and what do we mean by a landscape. So let's get started. A landscape is an image of an outdoor scene. If you look in this image, you can see that Van Gogh has painted a starry night with swirling stars in the background. You can also see that there's a town in the foreground and this crazy mountain going up into the sky. A landscape is any image of an outdoor scene. So if we think about the parts of a landscape, we want to think about, first thing, the line between the sky and the earth is the horizon line. The horizon line is not a line that actually exists, but it's one that we can see where the sky and the earth meet. We also want to think about the sky being at the top of our image most likely. The part of our landscape that's furthest away is the background, where things seem really small and are close to the horizon line. The middle ground is where we can see things that are a little bit closer to us. In the foreground are the parts of our landscape that are very, very close to us. The word scale is the word that we use to show the relative size of something or how things look smaller as they get further and further away and closer to the horizon line. If you look closely, it also happens in the sky. The clouds closest to us in the sky are bigger and they get closer together and smaller as they get closer to the horizon line. Now we need to think of what the word collage means. Art that is made by layering different materials like paper, photos, and fabric can all be different kinds of collage. We could take paper that's been painted on. We could take images from a magazine, paper scraps that have an interesting texture, paper that has a pattern on it, or colorful paper to layer them together and create a design. To make our collages extra special, we're going to show how space and depth can happen in our landscape by overlapping different parts of our collage. By starting with the background, we can think of what the sky or the ground might look like, and then bigger shapes from there. So starting from the top to bottom and biggest to smallest, I'm going to make my sky pink and my earth yellow. I could also switch them to have the opposite happen, but I'm going to make the earth in my collage yellow. Then I'm going to think about placing some clouds, having them get bigger and then smaller as they get closer to the horizon line. Also thinking about having things like maybe water, maybe there are some trees in my landscape that are bigger as they get closer, and also if they overlap, it looks like this tree is in front of that lake. This tree is a little bit smaller. I can make it be a little bit further back. I could also have there be some grass in the foreground. Maybe I want to show a building. This little house has some little details drawn on it that I could go over in Sharpie to show even more detail than that. So by layering, I'm showing that this grass is in front of the tree is in front of the lake, the mountain, and the sky. By layering things, you can show a sense of space the same way that you can show a sense of space by things getting smaller as they get further away. We can also show more details in a place that means something to us. Maybe some of you have been to Stevens Park. This is a completed landscape that shows some of these clouds getting smaller as they get further away. Shows some of the buildings that you can see in the distance when you're at the park. And it also shows the sign with some written detail and some grass up front. So by using careful cutting and layering and planning, we can create some very interesting landscapes that have personal meaning to us.